Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Final stage of our match. Hot landing zone, hot LZ. Shooter begins seated in the chair in our helicopter. Rifle condition 3, bolt closed, empty chamber, on safe, magazine of 10 rounds inserted. At buzzer, shooter will engage all 5 steel downrange with 2 hits each, no double taps, through the brown port in the barricade, indicating a firing port. Shooter may only reload when gun runs dry, no proactive reloads. When you've got all your hits on here, the helicopter has successfully touched down. You will get off the helicopter, go prone in the rice paddy field, in the start box, or in the stop box, and from that position you will get 2 hits on each steel target, double taps allowed from that position. Shooter ready? Yep. Stand by. Charlie dog, sir. Hit. Hit. Miss. Hit. 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 Miss. Hit. Miss. Hit. There you go. Hit. 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 This. Hit. This. This. Hit. 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 5. Shooter ready? Yep. Stand by. Hit. 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 Miss. Hit. Miss. Miss. You're just right. Hit. 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 You got it. Hit. Hit. Miss. Miss. You're high right. Miss. High right. High right. Hit. 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 You got him. 5. 5. Charlie dog, sir. Hit. 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 Miss. Hit. 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 Miss. Miss. Hit. Hit. Miss. Hit. Just right. There you go. Hit. 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 Got it. Hit. 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 Right. 5, 3, 5, 0. Hit. Hit. You got him. 5. All right, so we just finished the last stage, the hot LZ, where you were shooting from a truck, which was simulating a helicopter firing port. De-ass the truck into the rice paddy field and lay down fire on those you already killed.
Yep. And the idea with the barricade in the truck was kind of to simulate not really a firing port in a helicopter, but if you're a helicopter gunner, the gun's kind of fixed in position and you're swiveling it, kind of like we did using that barricade as a rest.
Kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's artificial, but it's the best we could do with a beat truck and a barricade.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was,
How'd it go?
The whole match was fun.
Yeah.
I did pretty well. I actually decided to try using the single point for this one, and I did so all the way up until my last 3 shots. And it's kind of funny, it worked in a weird way. A couple, especially the small targets from the truck, I couldn't tell if I hit them. There were several in there where I fired, I thought I missed, the RO called a hit, but I had already like started to reacquire a new sight picture. And if I'd been able to better call my hits, I could have moved a little smoother.
So you're saying the single point messed with your ability to call your shots?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
One of the weird things about this is you can't focus on it.
No.
If you try and think about this optic too much, it disappears. And at the very end, I was starting to miss. And I don't know why, because it felt like I was still making the same sort of good sight pictures. So at that point I said, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going back to irons. And at those ranges, the irons were quick and easy.
And by the way, the advice you're giving on this is the same advice you would use with a modern red dot. You should not focus on the dot. You focus on the target, and the dot should just be there.
That is true. Yeah. However, the difference is, like with a modern red dot, the first thing you have to do is, with this, you can't close one eye.
Oh, no.
With a modern red dot, sometimes you're like, whatever, I haven't practiced this enough. I'm closing my weak eye. I'm just going to shoot one eye. If you don't think about it and you do that with this, your target disappears.
Yeah, you have nothing.
And what's weird about this is the red dot, because you have one eye that sees both the dot and the target, and it's your dominant eye most of the time, you never get the problem to the extent you do with this. If I really start thinking about this and trying to focus on the sight picture, I will find that literally the dot disappears from my vision. And because my brain's just focusing, if I'm saying there's the target, the dot literally just goes.
Your brain's like, what's this crap in the way?
Yeah,
let's get rid of it. So you kind of have to shoot this thing intuitively like you would shoot a shotgun.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is interesting because if you practice, that's what you'd want to be doing anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this. So on the one hand, this has potential. I think this works reasonably well, especially with your practice with it. It is, of course, in every conceivable way inferior to any red dot optic.
Any.
Really, any.
Yeah. Go get an NC star and you're better off.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't break. But
you might still be better off because you could use it too.
That said, I really enjoyed shooting this. I'm sure you did. And we had the mini targets, which are at 50 yards, and I had no trouble hitting them with this.
I can't hit anything with that thing.
No.
So for me,
How about you?
What?
Yeah, how about you?
Standard SB1, everything went pretty fine. I should have been a little more accurate than I was. The trigger does not do me any favors. That is a heavy trigger.
Yeah.
And so you really got to have a lot of follow through on that trigger pull on this. When you're used to more modern match type triggers or just improved triggers,
now
going back to the old Colt trigger is rough.
I thought mil-spec was the gold standard. Mil-spec is good.
Yeah, not in this regard. This is probably an 8.5, 9 pound trigger pull. So you got to really be dedicated to every shot. And that, those little things make a difference. By the way, if you practice with a trigger like that, you're going to become a better shooter.
Absolutely.
However, when you're used to shooting triggers that are better than that, you have to really be diligent and cognizant of the fact that you have to follow through on every shot. And I threw some misses as a result. I could have been a little faster, but I did okay.
Yeah, we both did quite well.
Yeah, it did well. So I think I was, 53?
You were 53 and change, and I was 59 and change.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
Very close. So, good stage?
Definitely.
That's the end of the match. Let's go into conclusions.
The whole match was a lot of fun.
This match was awesome.
Yeah. You did a really good job designing these stages. They turned out really well. And you know what? This is probably, I think this may be the closest match we've ever had score-wise.
I think it is. I believe that I won.
We know you won.
However, the differential between you and I in the aggregate is somewhere in the 4 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So this is a real close run today. So
and what's really cool is it's close, but not because either one of us just completely, burned up in flames somewhere.
No, neither one of us essentially burned anything down, but neither one of us blew up either.
Exactly.
We were pretty stable.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited. I like seeing myself progress and get better at this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal.
I have more improvement that I can do than you do, so.
It gets harder.
Right, you start to plateau.
Yeah, you start to plateau, and then you have these moments where you plateau, and then sometimes you dip for a while, and then you spike, then you plateau, and getting to 90% is relatively easy.
Exactly.
Getting to 95% is pretty hard. Getting to better than that gets harder, and each and every step is incremental, and you bleed for every one of them.
Right.
It's very, very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's up to you as an individual to decide what level you want to be at.
Right.
Because, a lot of us, this isn't our job.
Yeah, you have to dedicate time and money to doing this.
This is not our job. We do other things with life. So how good do you need to be? I think that anyone that owns a gun should be proficient.
Right.
And if you're not in that 90+ percentile, I would question why you have the gun. And things like this, venues like this, are the place to get those skills.
Right.
Training events are awesome, but you can't go to a training event every weekend or every other weekend. You can come here and shoot and put rounds on target under artificial stress with whatever gun you prefer, and you will get better.
Absolutely.
You're proof of that throughout shooting this event, but we have other people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're dedicated and want to do that, maybe you don't need to be the 98 percentile,
Right.
but maybe you want to be the 94 percentile. Whatever you are, be proficient and come out and use venues like this as your tool to do that.
Right, and it doesn't have to be this match. It can be whatever matches around where you live.
No, that's true. You know, a lot of people really like what we do because this is cool. I mean, we do really neat stuff. But the honest truth is, pick up your pistol, go to a local IDPA, go to a USPSA match, go to a 3-gun match. It may not be cool tunnel rat crawling, but you're still going to be skill improving.
Exactly.
This was awesome.
Yeah, I think we've talked pretty much. We've been talking about these guns as we go through.
Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say. All I could say is I'll repeat myself. If you have not shot one of the early manufactured lightweight AR-15s, do yourself a favor and try it. You might be surprised by how much you actually like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, as with everything, sometimes the early versions of stuff have advantages that you don't see after things get developed further. Mm-hmm. You get more accoutrements and more accessories, and you lose some of the original feel of the gun. This one also, this has been fantastic. I really enjoy this. The iron sights work well for me. The scope has some issues, but I think we all know the scope was going to have some issues. And it didn't, this scope never caused me to just utterly fail.
No, it didn't.
Which it certainly could have. There's always that potential.
I question if it's a force multiplier or not.
You know, when they originally used these things, the one, this was never a Vietnam issue thing.
No.
These are known because they were specifically used in the one prison raid in 1970 on Son Tai. Mm-hmm. And what those guys were doing was jumping into basically a compound of buildings, all close proximity. This thing had, originally these had tritium in them. So you had a night sight.
Now you got something going on.
Right, and you know, you're talking 25, maybe 50 yards tops. And I think it makes a lot of sense in low light to have this rather than iron sights.
Having a sight you can see, even a craptastic one, is better than sights you can't see.
You know, it would have been really interesting
sense.
to try this at a stage like the Red October Night Shoot stage.
Now you're talking sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
So after that, you know, when that raid is over, these things go back in the equipment pile until there's another event
But
like
this
that.
rifle was indicative of what was to come.
Oh,
Red
totally.
dot sighting system, collapsible stock, shorter barrel.
Yep.
This really was where things were going. And you can absolutely see the lineage of where the current M4 is compared to that.
Definitely.
You don't see it as much in the SP1. More has changed on the full-size rifle over time.
Yeah.
Anyways, great match. Awesome time. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you like this kind of content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It's really, honestly, what fuels this engine and what keeps us going. And what makes an F4 Phantom driver come out and shoot an SP1 for entertainment, right? So please consider that if you can't. Understand. Subscribe to our channel. We are running some cool stuff for people that are subscribing when we get to 100,000 subscribers. And please watch the full 30 and YouTube and Facebook as well. Thanks a lot.